Today I'm going to show you how to see if your guitar is playing its absolute best. All right, ready? So you're going to need some stuff. First of all, you need a flat surface card. Gift cards work great. Credit cards, this is a military ID for me, or old military ID for me. Hard plastic though, definitely card. Okay, ready? Some picks. Ready? Picks are easy. You will need picks that are between 1.73 millimeters, okay, so 0.73, or to 0.88, okay? Those will be for your upper register, your third fret. And then you'll need some that are 1 millimeter to 1.26 millimeter to 1.5 millimeters. If you're an acoustic player, go ahead and grab a 2 millimeter pick if you'd like. Okay, ready? So here's a 1.5 millimeter pick. Here is a 1 millimeter pick. Here is a 1.26 pick. And here is a 0.80 pick, which is a nice one. So you know, the tool I use at the shop is sold by StewMac. It's a ruler, and in that it does 0.75 and 1 and 1.25, right? See, so 1 point, right? You get the idea. So that's why the picks. But here's what you have to do. First thing you have to do before you ever adjust your guitar, do a setup, okay? You have to make sure your frets are level. Now let me give you an example. You cannot take your car for an alignment if you have a flat tire. You cannot adjust a guitar to play its best if you have a high fret. So what you do is you take your card and you put it across 3 frets. Now I'm going to show you this with my fingers, right? There's 3 fingers, 3 frets. I put the card across 3 frets, right? I try to rock it. It doesn't rock. Now let's say one finger was higher than the other, giggity, right? Because of the middle finger. Anyways, and now it would rock like a teeter-totter, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to rock it. Now this is my guitar. All my guitars are perfect because I do all my own fret work and I don't like any high frets. So I don't have any rocking. Now as you go up, you'll find you cannot cross 4 frets, right, because it won't rock. So you have to turn the card on its side. Now the reason why I say gift cards work great is because if you have an old one you don't use, you can cut it in half either this way or this way and use it for the last bits of the higher frets, okay? Now again, you can buy what's called a fret rocker. They're metal, they're at StewMac, they're kind of pricey, or you can Google it and try to find the plastic version. Again, it's a fret rocker. You use that to check the frets. If you have a high fret, your only choices are hopefully to either tap it down with a hammer, but you have to see if there's a gap, or file it down and then crown it back over. Now, if you can't do that, take it to a tech. Make sure he's a decent tech. Now, next. Now once you've decided that your frets are okay. Now if it rocks a little teeny bit, your discretion is advised, right? Does it make sense? You know what you're after. So let me show you something. On this guitar, it's a perfect example. I have the action set right at the 12th fret at about 1.5 millimeters, okay? Because this is a 7-string and the big string spins a little bit more. Now on my 6-string guitars, I would set it at 1.25, ideally. Now on my 3rd fret, I have 0.75 millimeters is what it's set to. So obviously a pick like this, 0.73, it sticks. Do you see these 2 picks sticking? Now again, as I stuck that one in, it kind of made this pick kind of fall out a little bit, but you get the idea. Let's do this. So obviously, there's where my action is on that. And this one's the same. And of course, it doesn't matter which side because you're going to adjust equally. Because again, we're measuring from the bottom of the string. Here's your string. The bottom of the string to the top of the fret. That's the space that we're measuring. Okay, so we're using these as like gap gauges. Right? So those of you guys do some car work, you know what a feeler gauge or a gap gauge is, right? Okay, so these like little filler gauges, and that's how we're checking to see where our action's set. Now, why is this important? It's super important. Here's why. Never, ever, ever, ever adjust your guitar without measuring. Anyone out there on the internet, anyone talking to you that tells you otherwise is an idiot. Here's why. There's a saying, right? Measure twice, cut once. Well, I say measure twice, adjust once. Why would you let anyone, including yourself, adjust in an instrument? What happens if you don't like the adjustment you made? You're not going to remember exactly where you were, right? You could say on an adjustment, quarter turn, then quarter turn back, but that doesn't always line back up. Here's what I know. If I measure and it's 1 millimeter off the 12th fret and it's buzzing, that means I have to adjust up, right? I have to get the action higher. So if I adjust it and it just randomly goes away, well, how do I know where in that adjustment did it go away? So let me give you an example. At 1 millimeter it buzzes, at 1.5 it doesn't, well then maybe I can get away with 1.25. The best optimal low action I can without a buzz. Of course, you would always measure. Now, here's what you do. You will generally find, I promise, once you start measuring all the time, with all the guitars you have, all your friends' guitars, the guitars at guitar stores that you like or dislike, you will start noticing that you probably have a preference to way guitars feel. Now, most guitar players are aware of that now anyways, they just don't know the exact measurements because they're not measuring. Now, there's different ways to measure this. I agree, okay? So you know, this is not the official correct way to measurement. I'm giving you a layman's way because here's why. When I do my adjustments at the shop, I do it the right way, but I always adjust these ways so that I can hand you paperwork so that when you get home, you can see where you're at. Because I want you to play, and I want you to play well. And so I want it set up to be the way it needs to be. There's nothing special about that. There's no magic in it. It's just measuring. So again, measure, it helps, okay? So you measure your 3rd fret between, right, and your 12th fret. The reason why is because, there's a reason why I do this. And the general reason is this. Below, we're going to be using tone, right? Below your 5th fret. In other words, your 5th fret to your 1st fret. If you have buzzing and your neck needs to be adjusted by relieving or tightening. Does that make sense? Okay. Above the 5th fret, in other words, from the 5th fret to the, in this case, the 24th fret, that adjustment would come to your bridge. Does that make sense? So you understand what I'm saying? The 5th fret is like kind of like the point where we try to figure out, do we need a neck adjustment or a bridge adjustment? Well, that's why I measure off the 3rd fret and off the 12th fret, because that's right. Basically, it's not center, but 3rd fret is kind of center to the 5th, and then between the 5th and the 24th, it's kind of almost the center again. It's a good just point to get a reference, and it's easy for everybody to figure out. Obviously, it took very little explanation. This video is going to be under 7 minutes long total, and you already understand everything. All right, guys, if you have any questions, post them. If you want a video about anything, post that. Please hit like if you like the videos. Please hit dislike if you dislike the videos. Please leave negative comments somewhere else because I don't want to read them. No, I'm just kidding. You know, if you feel you need to do it, just do it. All right, guys, thanks for your time. And subscribe, because the more you subscribe, the more videos I'm just going to keep releasing, because when I'm bored or I got a few minutes, I'll just do a video. All right, guys, thank you for your time. Know your gear.